Hi everybody, welcome back to Tips for You. Well, today I want to show you how to make breaded chicken cutlets. Now you can make this recipe with chicken nuggets or chicken tenders if you want them small for your kids, but you're using real chicken and you're doing it in a low calorie, low fat, high protein recipe. It's very quick and easy. I've cut it down to only the essentials. This is a big hit with my family because I can make a quantity of them ahead of time. There's no frying, so you're not frying oil into the meat or into the breaded coating. This is using baking, and baking is so much better for you than frying. So you're going to be able to adjust the size of the chicken for your needs, and I'll show you the ingredients and how to make it. And it's so simple. Okay, so here's what you need. I've got them all out and ready. I use Italian style breadcrumbs. I like the Italian style breadcrumbs because I think it adds a really nice flavor. It gives a nice taste as opposed to plain breadcrumbs. I actually never use plain breadcrumbs. Okay, you'll need one egg, unless you're making lots of chicken, but then that depends on the size of your pan. You'll need one egg, spray oil for the pan, a plate for the breadcrumbs. Just put some in like this, okay, because you're going to be dipping the chicken in. And then we have a package of chicken. And before you start cleaning your chicken, set your stove on 400 degrees. That's the temperature that you're going to be cooking your chicken cutlets at, 400 degrees. Okay, so let's get started. All right, now what you're going to do is you're going to take your pan and you're going to spray a thin coat of, this is olive oil spray, and I always use olive oil because olive oil is really healthy for you. And you just spray down the pan. You don't need to saturate it. Now leave your oil out because you're going to need it again at the end when the cutlets, before you put them in the oven, when they're in the pan, to spray, give them a little spray. So you take your egg and you crack it into the bowl. I usually add just a tad of cold water to it, just a splash like that. That helps you to beat the egg with a fork. Now what you're going to do is just scramble it up, okay? So you're scrambling up your egg. And now you've got all your ingredients right here. You've got your breadcrumbs and your eggs. These are the only ingredients that you're going to need to prepare your chicken cutlets. That means my stove is at 400 degrees. So for those of you who are new to preparing chicken, some of my younger viewers, I am going to show you what you do. So you take the chicken cutlet out. If there's any fat on the chicken cutlet, I will usually trim it off. These are really nicely trimmed, but sometimes I get a batch that have a ton of fat, and I like to take it off because my family complains if they bite into fat, and I don't blame them. So I'm just going to take that little piece off. So what you would do is, once it's trimmed, and I use cold water, you rinse your chicken. Rinse it off clean and put it in your plate. The next cutlet, this one's all trimmed nicely. Beautiful. You rinse it off and put it in your plate. Now this one, I see some fat here. I'm just going to trim it off and then rinse it, rub it a little bit gently, and put it in your plate. Now, you have to know how your family likes their chicken. This is on the chunkier side, and I'll leave that for grilling, but for making these breaded chicken cutlets, everybody likes them crunchy and thinner. That's how my family prefers them. So, what I do is I take the knife and I cut them long way down through the cutlet and I make them thinner cutlets. So they're thin sliced cutlets. And you can buy thin sliced cutlets, and I do very often, but I can't always get them. So I'll have to do it myself. So now I've got two thinner pieces. And I'm going to do that with all of them. Just cut right. Now be careful, you're cutting towards your hand. So you've got to be careful. So go to the fattest part, and you get good at it when you're used to it, and guide it down and to the bottom. But be very careful, like I said. You don't want to cut yourself. So now I have thinner cutlets. Now if you wanted to make little skinny chicken tenders, you would just cut down the middle. I can do one like this. And you've got strips. And those are really fun to eat. And if you've got little kids and you want to make little nuggets, you just cut this into chunks. Next thing you're going to do is come over here where you have your ingredients. And the first thing you're going to do, pick up a cutlet with your fork like this. You're going to sort of hook into it, right? And then you dip it into the egg coating, one side, flip it over, and really get it into the other side. Now you lift it up and you quickly dip it into the breadcrumbs. And you work it in nicely, make sure all the chicken is covered and the egg helps the chicken pick up all the breadcrumbs, and it's a nice coating. Then you lift it up again and you lie it in your pan. Simple. Next, let's do it again. Pick up a cutlet, you hook your fork into it, one side gets dipped, then you flip it over, drop it in, then pick it up again. You coated both sides completely with the egg and you put it into the breadcrumbs. Sometimes you just have to lift some out of the plate like that and toss it on. And then you just shake off the excess crumbs and you leave a little space between cutlets because they cook better. You want the heat to circulate. And then you come and get another one. Dip them in the egg. I'm going to finish breading these cutlets, and then I'm going to come back and show you the last little step before you put them in the oven. Okay? See you in a bit. And always, always rinse everything that touches meat completely and with soap. And I'm going to rinse them and put them in the dishwasher. Now the next step before you put those in the oven, I'm going to take my gloves off now, and my hands are clean, is you're going to spray each cutlet with a little bit of olive oil. That's going to enable it to seal in the juices and give it that crispy texture. So it's already got the spray olive oil on the other side that's close to the pan. You're going to flip them halfway through so that they can brown on both sides. Okay, so all you do is you just, not a lot of oil, you just simply spray each one like that. A little spray. So as if you were just touching up your hair with a little hairspray. That's all you need. And then we are going to put it in the oven. Remember, your oven is ready. It's 400 degrees. Don't put it in an oven that's heating up. It has to be already at the temperature. And you set your timer for 12 minutes. Okay? And I'll see you in 12 minutes and we'll turn them over and see what they look like, and then we'll check them again at the end. Alrighty? Stay tuned. Okay, our chicken cutlets are halfway ready, halfway done. It's been 12 minutes, and now it's time for you to flip them over. All you do is you get underneath the chicken and flip it over. See how it's nicely crunchy on one side already? And it's all browned, okay? And once you flip them over, you just simply place them back in the oven. And this time, we are going to put a timer on 11 minutes. So it's going to be a total of 23 minutes. Now, after you had prepared your chicken, I just want to say to those of you that are new to cooking with chicken, that you have to clean up the workspace that you were working with the chicken. So this whole counter where I was working, I disinfected with a spray bleach product that will kill any germs left over by the meat or the egg that was sitting around on the counter. Have your paper towel handy and throw it away. And that's how you have to be very careful when you cook meat on any surface, because you don't want to transfer the germs like salmonella or whatever it might carry to any other foods that you cook. Okay, so I will see you in 11 minutes and we will look at the finished product. Okay, it's been 11 minutes and our cutlets are done. There's a total of 23 minutes. Now everybody's oven is a little bit different, so with trial and error you'll realize, depending on the size of your cutlets, I'm really good at kind of gauging. Like if these were fatter, I'd probably have done 24 minutes. If they were like little like this, I would have done maybe 21 or 22 minutes, which is always cooking on 400 degrees. Look, they're nice and crunchy. They're done. I'm going to cut one open for you so you see what they look like. They're delicious. My suggestion to you is that you just let them sit for about 2 minutes to let the juices kind of run back in. But just to give you an idea, just to cut one a little bit. Look at that nice little, hear that little crunch? Hear that? Little crunchy nugget. See how nice and white? You look for white and grainy, and that's how you know it's done. No pink inside. Now, some ideas for you. This is a favorite in my house. And the reason it's a favorite is, like I said, I can cook it in quantity, and I will make a bunch, put them in the refrigerator, and then people can make sandwiches with them, cut them up in a salad, whatever you want to do. There's no end to the ideas. You can make yourself some rice salad, you can chop it up into that. What I love to do as well is I love to melt mozzarella on top of it. So you just take a chunk of mozzarella, you slice pieces off, and you lie it on each of the cutlet, one slice. When you're in the last phase of cooking and you have about, say, 3 or 4 minutes left, take your tray out of the oven. That's when you put the slices on, because then it takes about 3 minutes to melt the mozzarella. You don't want to leave it in there the entire time. You'll burn it all up. So you put the mozzarella on in the last 3 to 4 minutes of cooking time, just to melt it on top. Some other things that you can do. My kids love chicken franchise. This is a very quick shortcut way to do it. You make your chicken cutlets like this, then you squeeze a fresh lemon into a pot, melt some butter with that, add a little parsley, and you can pour it right on top of these chicken cutlets, and you can serve it with a little pasta or with a little rice or however you like to have it, and you've got an instant quick chicken franchise. I also like to make it curry variety, still use the same Italian seasoned breadcrumbs, and what I like to do is, after I flip them the first time, and now we've got the cooked side on top, I sprinkle a little curry powder or turmeric on top, and maybe just a little bit of black pepper if that's what you like, and then put them back in the oven. And then of course you can melt American cheese on it. You can melt any kind of cheese on these cutlets that you want. So there's no end to the creativity. You can make it in mass quantity. Oh, before I forget, you can make yourself a chicken parm hero. All I have to do is take one of these cutlets, put it in a nice roll, some tomato sauce on top. Of course, you probably want to melt mozzarella on it in the oven so that you have it that way. And you have an instant chicken parm hero. Delicious, fresh. Now, if you notice, they're not greasy. They're crunchy. They're not greasy. There's very little. Look at how nice and crunchy on that side is. The chicken stays very juicy inside and tender because of the breaded coating around it. These are really good. And of course, if you make them for your kids, they'll love them, and they're much more nutritious than buying those chicken nuggets frozen or whatever in the store. So there you have it. Really quick, really easy, very healthy for you, no frying. I hope you give it a try. I hope you enjoyed this cooking video, and let me know if you make them. I'd love to see how they came out for you. And please subscribe, because I have a lot more to come, something of interest to everyone. And please visit me at my blog spot. And I'm on Facebook and Twitter, so please visit me there and we can stay connected there as well. And I will see you soon, okay? Thanks so much for viewing. Bye now.